Hey, what is up guys? This is Motech Reviews, and today we're looking at a monitor. This is the VG27A by TUF Gaming from ASUS, and this is a monitor that brings a lot of awesome specs to the table for a reasonable price. Now I've had it for just over a week now, so I'm going to be walking you through everything you need to know about it if you're considering purchasing this monitor. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now in terms of specs and pricing, the VG27A packs a really impressive configuration. It's a 1440p IPS panel that has a 165Hz refresh rate and a 1 millisecond response time. And right now, with all the Black Friday sales, I see it coming up at around $350, so this is a really fantastic and reasonable price in comparison to the specs you get.
Alright, so let's get into the design and build quality first. I quite like what ASUS has done with this specific monitor. It's minimalistic with thin borders and a really clean look. The ASUS logo and these HDMI logos give too much of an office monitor vibe for me. I would have rather seen a simple icon logo here, or maybe nothing at all for an even cleaner look, but I'm just nitpicking here. In the back, the simplicity continues. ASUS doesn't put any RGB lighting or outrageous gamer designs like they do in their ASUS ROG lineup, but I think that's a good thing. It looks really nice, and it shaves a few dollars off the cost. Now in terms of I/O, it comes with a DisplayPort, which can do up to 165Hz, and two HDMI ports that can go up to 144Hz. There is no built-in USB hub in this monitor, so you don't get any USB ports or a USB port extension. Now ASUS does include a really nice high-quality base in the box. The design is not very flashy and it's not the heaviest base, but it does the job well and it keeps the monitor stable. I like that the base part of it is small, so it doesn't take too much space up on the desk, and I like that the arm piece of the stand is also flush with the back of the monitor, so you don't have to worry about the clearance between your monitor and the wall. Now in terms of ergonomics, it's really well equipped within this monitor. You have a wide range of movement in terms of up and down movement, as well as side to side, and you can also put it in a perpendicular position if you like to do programming or you like to see a lot of lines on the screen. Now the stand does come with a cable management slot right at the bottom, but it feels like ASUS just slapped it in there without too much afterthought. The slot doesn't work very well, it's too small for standard cables. For example, I can't fit my DisplayPort cable through there. The only cable that's fitting through there is the power cable that is included in the box. So if you did want to cable manage better, I'd recommend you put it on a monitor arm with better cable management, or you can get some Velcro straps to strap it to the back of this monitor stand that comes in the box.
Now the panel that's used here is not a premium LG IPS panel, but nonetheless it's still an IPS QHD panel, so you're going to get some really amazing and really beautiful colors with some really nice depth. Now the blacks and the darker shades are not amazing on this panel, but this is a problem across all IPS panels, so I'm not going to duck any points from this specific monitor here.
The VG27AQ has an excellent SDR color gamut that covers 99% of the sRGB color space, but it has okay coverage of the Adobe RGB color space, so this monitor might not be enough for professional photo editors out there. Now because this is an IPS, you're going to get excellent viewing angles from all directions, and I think that the colors and quality of the image are certainly above average and very nice for this price range right here. Alright, to get to the OSD menu, you can control it from the back here using this joystick, and it's going to allow you to change a number of settings to suit your needs. Now ASUS has multiple preset modes that they've pre-configured for different types of games, but you can also do your own custom setup. Now I personally found that the best preset for color accuracy and some really nice visuals is going to be the racing mode. Now out of the box, the screen is going to be set at a maximum of 120Hz refresh rate. To get to the 165Hz that ASUS markets, you're going to have to change it yourself from the refresh rate menu within the OSD. Now when you try to do that, it's going to give you a warning stating that it may cause flickering.
Now I'm going to be honest, I didn't like the way that ASUS implemented this specific feature. I shouldn't be warned about using 165Hz if that's the refresh rate that is actually advertised on the box and on the website. But I didn't notice any flickering or any issues at 165Hz. So this might be ASUS being extra cautious here with their overclocking feature.
Now the VG27A has fantastic response times at its maximum refresh rate, and you can go through multiple options of response times in the trace-free menu within the OSD. Now from there, you have settings that are represented by 60, 80, and 100. So 60 is going to be for 3 milliseconds, 80 is for 2 milliseconds, and 100 is going to be for that maximum 1 milliseconds marketed on the box. Through my testing, I found that the best setting for the clearest motion out of all of them is the 80 setting, or the 2 milliseconds of response time. That's just going to be the best for all types of games, and I didn't notice any flickering or fragmentation within this setting. Now, continuing the topic of response time, ASUS has also equipped this with the ELMB sync, which is its backlight strobing technology that is designed to battle motion blur when you're above 120 Hz. So when you're at that maximum 165 Hz refresh rate, make sure that you have this turned on, because I did notice that it did help with motion blur just a bit. Now, shadow boost is another nice setting for generally darker games, something like FPS games where you have really dark corners inside buildings. You can turn that on and it will brighten the environment and help you spot that camper crouched in a dark corner.
Now the VG27A is GSYNC compatible and it works as well as you would expect it to. It helps with that tear-free gaming, and if you have an NVIDIA card, you definitely should turn it on. Now I don't see anything on the box or on the marketing that says FREESYNC for AMD cards, but GSYNC compatible is just another word for FREESYNC, or the free sort of compatibility with that. So if you have an AMD card, this monitor should work just fine with FREESYNC as well.
Now the VG27A has HDR10 on here, which doesn't really do much for content consumption. This is very mediocre in terms of HDR, and you're gonna need at least VSA HDR 600 to start noticing any decent HDR performance.
Now when it comes to productivity tasks, the VG27A is quite fantastic. I've used it for both work and video editing, and it's performed really well in both of these tasks. The panel is really nice and easy on the eyes, and you also have a blue light filter in 5 different levels within the OSD that's going to make it easier for you to stare at the screen for long hours and reduce eye strain. But if you're looking for a really color accurate monitor for photo editing, then I'd probably look at another option, because this panel here has some issues out of the box with color accuracy, and you'd have to pretty much perfectly calibrate it to get a higher color accuracy. So I'd look for something that is factory calibrated out of the box if you don't want to go through that. Alright guys, so let's talk about what you really came here to see, which is the gaming performance. So I tested this monitor on 4 different games, and I do have the RTX 3070 in my PC, so 1440p is going to be the absolute sweet spot for this card. So let's take a look at some of the results for how it performed and how it looks in different games.
Now the first game I tested was Forza Horizon 5, and with everything set to Ultra, I was getting around 130 FPS. So I was taking advantage of this fast refresh rate, and the screen did a wonderful job. The colors look fantastic, and the quality of the visuals is very high in this really beautiful game. The IPS panel can really bring out the life in the greenery and the forests, as well as the pop of the red paint on my Ferrari. Now I also tested it with a couple of FPS games here, Warzone and Halo multiplayer, and I was hitting at about 140 FPS, and the experience was very smooth. There is no flickering and tearing, and the graphics look fantastic in both games. I was especially impressed by the colors it brought out of Warzone, which is a game that I always thought was really washed out. And finally, I played League of Legends on it to really push those frames. I was getting over 240 frames per second, but obviously we can only see 165 of them here. But that's what I wanted to test, and at the maximum refresh rate, the screen performs perfectly well, there's no flickering, and the response time and colors have never looked better in this game.
So overall, the VG27A is a fantastic option. And with it being available at around $350 right now with all the Black Friday sales going on, I cannot imagine a better monitor to recommend. It's going to give you all the bells and whistles and all of the specs that are going to give you a really nice, smooth, and satisfying gaming experience. So this is definitely a buy for me. Alright, and that covers everything for the VG27A monitor. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel with notifications on. I'm going to be coming back with more monitor reviews as well as brand new mice and keyboard reviews in the coming weeks. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those videos. Have an awesome day guys, and I'll see you guys next time.